Hey everyone, this is Ian and welcome back to Snip to It. Today I'm going to show you how to make double-sided print and cut projects in Cricut Design Space. Double-sided printing is super useful. You can use it to make things like gift tags, ornaments, bookmarks, and more that are finished on both sides without having to glue two sheets of cardstock together. It just takes a little bit of setup to get everything lined up perfectly, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. By the end of this tutorial, you will know how to make double-sided projects with one design or a whole page of different designs, even if they're irregular shapes and have different images on the front and back. To do double-sided printing, you'll run the paper through your printer twice, once for the front and once for the back. That means both sides need to line up exactly the same position, but flipped, so when you print the second side, it mirrors the first. For example, if your first image prints in the top left corner of the page, the matching image on the back needs to print in the top right corner, so that when you flip the page, they align perfectly. You can see how these match up when the page is flipped side to side. That's what we're setting up in Design Space. The challenge is that Cricut automatically repositions image on the mat to save space, so you can't rely on where Design Space places your images by default. We need to lock the positions before we get to the mat preview screen, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do next. We'll start simple, with one design that has a different front and back image. Then I'll show you how to do a full sheet of multiple images. For this example, I'm using artwork from Creative Fabrica. Make sure the front and back images are exactly the same size. Now, if I clicked Make It Right now, both images would end up on the same sheet. You can move one of these to a second mat, but it's almost impossible to align them perfectly, especially if they're irregular shapes. So instead, we're going to attach each image to a larger shape. And there are two reasons for that. First, Design Space will be forced to separate them onto different mats. And second, it locks each image's position so that Cricut can't move or rotate it. Now add a square to your canvas and change the color to white. Set the width to 7.44 inches. That's the maximum width for print and cut. And set the height to 7.325 inches. That fills almost the entire printable area. Now duplicate that square so you have one for the front image and one for the back. To position the front image, select it and its square. Open the Align tool and choose Align Top and Align Left. Set up the mirrored placement for the back image and its square. Select Align Top and Align Right. Now attach each image to its square. If I flip the front image, like I will do physically after printing, you can see that the pair of images are a perfect match, even though they're not symmetrical. Now remember, your goal is to set up the front and back images so their positions are mirrored. That way, when you flip your printed sheet from side to side, they match exactly. It's not important that you always choose top left, top right alignment. You can easily choose top center, bottom right, bottom left, or center, or even middle. Finally, change the operation for the white square to draw. That way it won't get cut when you do your print and cut. Now click the Make button. You'll see your two images on separate mats, locked in position so Cricut can't move or rotate them. Select the mat with your front image. Click Continue and then Send to Printer. Turn the bleed on and check the System dialog box so you can choose your print settings for your own printer. Now before I print, I want to be clear about how the page needs to physically be flipped when you print the second side. I'm going to label the front and back top of the page with a pen so that we can follow this easily. Your Inkjet printer is either going to load from the back or use a front paper tray. This Epson is a rear feed printer, so I'm going to show you how to use this kind of printer first, but I will show you how the paper will feed from a front tray after this. When I print, I'm going to load my sheet upside down, and the image gets printed head first, coming out in the bottom tray. I'll send this to print so you can see it in action. You can see the front image and top are where they need to be. So to flip this page to print the back image, I will flip this side to side, never top to bottom, and feed it in upside down again. So go back to the Set Load and Go screen. Instead of choosing a cut setting for the front printed image, click on the second mat with the back image. Now click Send to Printer, add a bleed, use the System dialog, and print the back image. Now you can see that my back image printed exactly where it needs to be, and I can now proceed to cut. Now if you have a printer with a front-loading tray, it will load like this. The top of the sheet will be loaded facing into the printer. Then it will come out face down, with the top pointing towards you. Next, to print the back, you don't have to flip it, you just have to point the top towards the printer again. I recommend writing front, back, and top on your page until you get the hang of this. Don't be too upset if you mess this up. We're printing on cardstock here, not printable vinyl or sticker sheets, so it's not going to be some super expensive screw up if you make a mistake. Now that both sides are printed, let's cut. Remember, we're going to load the sheet on the cutting mat with the back side facing up. I'm using the medium cardstock setting and it cuts perfectly. Just ignore it when Design Space prompts you to load a pen. That's for the guide shape, which we set to draw earlier. Now let's take this up a notch with multiple designs per page. There are two ways you can do this. First, you can use the same square guide shape and use the Align tool as we did in the first example. Or you can use the whole printing cut area and set up your sheet by duplicating and mirroring. So, the first option, we're going to use the alignment tool. If you're using the square guide shape, duplicate the guide square. Next, arrange your front images on the first square. Use top left, top right, bottom left, and bottom right alignment to guide you. On the second square, mirror those placements for the back images. Attach each set of images to their squares. Then set the squares operation to draw. Now you're ready to hit the Make button. If you want to use the full print then cut area, you'll have to use a guide shape for that too. There are a few of these print and cut area guides floating around in the Design Space community, or you can download my Maximum Print Then Cut Area Guide SVG from my website, and the link is in the video description below. First, place your front images anywhere you like in the guide shape. Select all of your back images, flip them horizontally, and select Bring to Front to make sure the back images will be at the top of the Layers panel. Now, we'll place each back image over its matching front image and use the Align Center tool to align them perfectly. Once every image pair has been aligned, select everything, all the images and the guide, then group it, then duplicate it. Then hide that duplicate group in the Layers panel. Next, we're going to clean up the front sheet by removing all of the back images. Open the group so you can see a full list of all the images. Delete all the back images from each pair. Ironically, they'll be the ones listed on top. When only the front images remain, select everything, attach it, and change the guide shape to draw. Now unhide the second group, open the group in the Layers panel, and find the front image of each pair. The front images will be listed below the back images. Delete all the front images. Attach the remaining back images to the guide and set the operation for the guide shape to draw, and then flip everything horizontally to return everything to the correct orientation. When you click Make It, you'll see two perfectly mirrored mats, one for the fronts and one for the backs. Print the fronts, reload your paper in the correct orientation, then print the backs, and you're ready to cut. So you can see that the front and back cut very nicely using this method and gave me great double-sided results. Even the cat's whiskers were a perfect match. But there are a couple of places around the feet of the chick and the owl where there was a size and shape mismatch between the front and the back images. So all we have are the feet cut from the back and not the full number of toes that were on the front image. Just be aware that any size or shape mismatch should be considered if there's something you need included. And consider using an offset or make sure you cut from that specific side. So that's it. You've just mastered double-sided print and cut in Cricut Design Space. Now you can use this technique for bookmarks, gift tags, cards, ornaments, or any other project you want printed on two sides. If this video helped you out, please give it a like and subscribe for more Cricut tips. Let me know in the comments what project you're planning to make with this double-sided technique first. Thanks for watching and happy crafting!